Welcome back to Marvel Maniac, an MCU after show. This is your host, Eric Sequeira, aka Mr. Honest. It has been a week since the finale of WandaVision. Is your mind still blown? Are you still thinking about this like me? I'm still going insane over this show and wondering about the possibilities that it brought to our MCU. A new chapter is brought upon us here. And that being said, we have guests, our very first guest on the show, my very good friends, TJ and Dustin. I'm about to introduce them. This happened earlier this afternoon via Zoom call. You're going to maybe hear a different voiced version of me earlier in the day. I usually record these later at night, kind of ASMR-y. And then later, after that, I'm going to talk about a new show that just came out. It's Assembled, the making of WandaVision. They're going to be doing these for all of the Disney Plus shows, apparently. Hawkeye and Winter Soldier as well. I'm not going to be going as in detail with this as I usually do with like the WandaVision itself, but I want to, I'm going to talk about some key moments from that after this talk with my friends. As I'm about to tell you, these guys and I go way back. We have a really great rapport, and I'm really excited to share this conversation we had. It's really good. Enjoy. I'm sitting here today via Zoom World with two of my very good friends. I saw Age of Ultron with them in theaters opening day. Terrence Galuli, TJ, and my good friend Dustin Baker, both of my best friends. How are you doing today, guys?
Doing good, buddy. I'm excited to talk Marvel Maniac.
Yeah.
Happy to be in the Zoom-niverse with you.
Yes, we're here today to talk the season of WandaVision. They are fans of the Marvel Universe like I myself. I've seen multiple MCU movies with both of these guys. We do talk plenty about it in our Fortnite sessions and our just on our side conversations. We are diehard Marvel fans. So we thought we'd bring it to the table here at the end of the season and hash it out together on Marvel Maniac. We are all Marvel Maniacs today. We assembled and are bringing it to the table here. So let's open it up. Let's just open it up. This season was crazy, guys. First off, let me just ask TJ, overall, thoughts on the season. What'd you think, man?
I thought it was awesome. Definitely surpassed my expectations. It's like a totally new direction for Marvel. They got some romance, mystery. I think they're kind of reinventing themselves, and I love it. I think it's great.
Heck yeah. Yeah, Dusty, what about you, man? In terms of like this and in the MCU and where it lies, what do you think of WandaVision?
I also really liked it.
Very basic start.
It was surprising. I didn't really know exactly what it was gonna get into, but I think it explored some of the best themes that I think Marvel has explored thus far. Like the fact that at the end of the day, it was kind of about like grief and like a superhero that we never really got a story for to begin with. Like Wanda has always kind of just not been given her like full story. I'm glad that we got that. Right. And I think that the direction they went with, like, hey, what happens when a superhero has gone through so much shit, like we can't just ignore these messed up things that have happened. I think people will probably say that this might be one of the best things Marvel's ever done. The only issue I have is I think the last episode was my least favorite episode.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it kind of fell into like the Marvel tropes that I don't care for at the end of the day. Like there was a huge CGI fight, which is fine. I'm still liked it, but there was like a huge CGI fight. They kind of had that thing where it was like the good guy and then her evil counterpart thing that Marvel does a lot, where it's like, oh, hey, here's Scarlet Witch, but then here's the even more bad witch. And it's like the dark version of her, which they do a lot, which is fine because Agatha was a cool character. But if I had to say why I didn't like that episode like the most, those would be the reasons.
Fair.
And they literally did the same thing with the Vision, where it was like good Vision, bad Vision, and I love the way that they settled it.
I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and defend the whole thing. I don't know. There were a lot of expectations but I more or less the fan expectations. There was a big expectation that there was a underlying Mephisto, and I didn't expect there to be another Vision. I think everyone was thinking, and I was thinking that Wanda animated Vision. I was buying into that. I didn't think there was going to be a double Vision fight at the end of this season. That surprised the hell out of me. I mean, we were expecting it for a week. Once we saw that post-credit scene, and the double witch fight, I mean, once it was happening, you're like, okay, yeah, this makes sense. And this movie CGI fight, I get what you mean. I get what you're saying. Okay, let's.
Can I say one thing? I noticed in general, like I said, I really liked WandaVision. I also think it's one of the best things Marvel has done. But I am much better at saying what I don't like about things than I am saying what I like about things. And I'll give you another example.
This is good.
I'll give you another example. Within like 2 episodes, they give like Wanda a Deus Ex Machina in a way, because in the episode 8, Agatha's like, silly Wanda, don't you know that a witch can only use her powers when she's activated the runes? And they explain that in the second to last episode. And then in the last episode, it's like, yes, thank you for telling me that, because that's how I will defeat you now. And it was fine, but it felt like it was shoehorned in a little bit.
I didn't see it coming. I didn't see it coming. I'm a sucker. Man.
But if you watch the previously on thing, they also mention it again. Yeah, in the last episode, it's previously on WandaVision.
You notice that, TJ?
Don't you know a witch can only use her? So I was like, oh, that's gonna come in handy at some point.
Call me a fanboy. Call me a moron. I did not see it coming. The hexes. I was like,
It was cool. I love how the whole thing was the hex. It was well done, but at the same time,
really well done. She remade it into the hex. She let go of it and then remade it to destroy her. I don't know. Very strong powers. We've never seen anything like it in the MCU to date. It's incredible. That being said, a lot of people have some questions as who's the villain. Is Wanda going? Where is she going? TJ, let me ask you that. Going forward, where do you think that post-credit scene? We see Wanda going a little cuckoo crazy she's projecting her. I forget how we say it. She's Doctor Stranging herself. Even further, as Agatha says, your powers exceed that of the Sorcerer Supreme. And when we see Doctor Strange project himself, we only see him do that when he's sleeping on screen. I don't know if he's able to do this while he's moving around off screen, but we see Wanda moving around on the porch and going in the house, and then in the back room she's reading the book, The Darkhold, and she's studying it, and then she hears her children. Is this going to turn her into the antagonist going forward? TJ, I'm going to ask you first.
I mean, it's a good question. I mean, just to go over the final episode real quick, I want to say that it wasn't my favorite episode either.
Sure.
I did enjoy it, but I think it was a little anticlimactic, because I heard that originally Multiverse of Madness was supposed to come out immediately following WandaVision, but because of COVID and all that stuff, it's like a gap. So I feel like they weren't really expecting that gap, and I feel like we're kind of left.
That's a full year now.
But no, I think it definitely opens up possibilities for Wanda to be the main villain going forward. I mean, an idea that I have is maybe she will try to bring Vision and her kids back through a hex again, but this time it will be the whole world, and it will be Wanda world, and I think that will lead to a multiverse of madness, possibly. It could be Wanda who kind of splits everything, basically.
Holy shnikes! That's insane. That's a great theory. Dustin, do you think Wanda is the antagonist or just a player in the multiverse of madness? Doctor Strange 2.
I think she was kind of the bad guy in the show. And I hope that doesn't go consequented. I don't know if that's even a word, but
oh man, the way the people in that town looked at her.
Yes, like she did some really messed up stuff at the end of the day, and like obviously we can understand where she's coming from because that was the show, trying to empathize with her struggles. But I don't think she should be able to just like get away with it. And yeah, if I had to guess, I mean, I think she will have a huge part to play. I don't know if she's necessarily going to be the big bad of the Multiverse of Madness, but I have a feeling it's like they've created a hero whose powers have pretty much, what did Agatha say? She's pretty much destined to destroy the world. Like that's her destiny.
More powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme. His destiny is to destroy the world.
Yeah.
Destiny?
So I think it's more like she is going to like unintentionally become a bad person because of her powers. I don't think it's like she's gonna go out and seek to destroy the world. I think it's just like it's inevitable, maybe, like
I agree. I think it might be like a Walter White type scenario.
Yeah, like she can't, like it's going to happen and it maybe is out of her control and it's going to be sad because now we know why everything that's happened to her is happening. And it's going to be like, oh man, like this sucks for her, like we like her now. But it's like, if you guys watch like the X-Men movies, it reminds me a lot of Phoenix. Like Jean Grey's character is like, yeah, you're the Phoenix, and the Phoenix is supposed to destroy everything, and like that sucks because she's a good guy, but her powers are so much that she's going to inevitably fuck things up. And I saw something online that I thought was interesting because you guys have all seen the second Spider-Man, Far From Home.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So, I know when I finished that, when at the end of the movie, the post-credit scene where they showed J.K. Simmons being what's his face, the Daily Bugle guy. At first I was like, wow. Yeah, at first I was like, wow, that's so funny. I'm glad they brought him back in and I don't care that they recasted him. But now the implication is much deeper and it's like, oh wait, no, the multiverse is already bleeding through.
It is. Mm-hmm. Yes, that was a bigger implication than most realized. It was like, that's a fun little Easter egg.
Exactly.
No, this is a big deal. This is huge, guys.
When I saw that pointed out on Twitter, they said that like WandaVision takes place like weeks after Endgame, where Spider-Man Far From Home takes place months after Endgame. So there is like things like everything that she just did has already happened prior to Far From Home. So things are happening. Yeah. And I mean,
Tobey Maguire on his way, swinging his way into the MCU. It's coming, baby.
And one last thing I'll say about this is that I don't know if I necessarily think that Wanda is causing the multiverse stuff. I think it's all because of everything they did in Endgame. I think them going in time and changing things, Loki existing again with like the
God, right?
I think all of that is causing the multiverse, and I think Wanda is going to accelerate all the badness, but I don't think she's responsible for everything like that happening, if that makes sense.
Can I reply to the Loki thing? Now that we're kind of segueing real quick, you guys, I really don't want to get this too off topic here, but I always argue with you guys and you guys always argue with me about this. I'm like, oh man, it'd be great if Thanos came back in one way or another. And you're like, dude, it's done. It's done. Loki literally is in a timeline in which Thanos exists. You can't deny that.
I'm denying it. No,
Loki literally, think about it. That timeline that Tony went to and messed up with the Tesseract, and Loki took the Tesseract and then got away from the Battle of New York, is a timeline that in that of itself, Thanos exists. That's not the 2014 Thanos that came and
Loki is like transported to somewhere else entirely.
In that universe in which Thanos exists, that he gave him those stones to go to war with. He's kind of like a mob boss in that universe that probably is mad at Loki for messing up. And you know where Loki goes after the Battle of New York? He's supposed to go to Asgardian prison. He's safe from Thanos there. Now he's on the run from Thanos. Thanos may be in Loki, guys. Thanos may be in Loki.
I hope Thanos is not. I really do. I hope they just, because they tied it off in such a nice bow. Like,
there's so so much.
If they rehatch it, I feel like it'll take away from Tony and his snap and
no. We can learn more about his character. We could come on, man. We can learn so much more about his intentions in those movies. It could add to it.
I think Infinity War did a good enough job. That
Similar
was
to
movie.
But what about this Wanda Maximoff character? We learned so much more about in WandaVision.
I want Thanos Vision.
What about we saw her looking at the Stark rocket that we learned about in the movie we saw together in theaters, Age of Ultron. We heard her talking about the Stark rocket and the blinking light, and we saw it with our own eyes, and it had bigger implications. We learned in that way that she actually had her powers, and the Mind Stone amplified them. There's bigger stories to be told, bigger moments than just 2 hours in a person's life. There's hundreds and hundreds of hours. I'm interested in that villain. I'm sorry. I'm trailing off. I'm a Marvel maniac, guys.
I will say you are objectively right. Like that Thanos does exist still because the timelines are all messed up, and every time they go to a different timeline, Thanos exists. And
when he realizes,
maybe we will see glimmers of it. But I firmly believe that we have seen the last of his big involvement in this series at the moment. I don't think that it's impossible for him to show back up. He might have there might be little nods and winks to him, but I don't think he's going to come back in any major way. It might just be he exists because the timelines are messed up, and then the new Loki timeline,
Owen Thanos Wilson's is there. But Loki, he'll explain it.
If you watch the trailer for Loki, and you've watched Umbrella Academy, I know we all have, and It seems they're going to be very similar in the sense that there's people who manage timelines, and they're hey, you can't mess things up. I think that will kind of either explain away the Thanos problem, or you know what I mean? They're going to be listen, no, you can't. This can't be this way because these things already happen, and you know what I mean? They're going to find a way to be you don't have to worry about Thanos anymore. Because we're planning something bigger.
That's a good thing. I'm sorry I knew this would spawn so much other conversation. TJ,
I know you love Thanos and you agree with everything that he did.
No, I don't. I did have a gamer tag for years called Thanos Isn't Wrong. I was all hyped up on those movies. I'm sorry. TJ, any thoughts on that before we move on? You haven't had the floor on Thanos.
I think if they brought back Thanos as the big bad, it would be kind of a cop out. It makes me even think of Star Wars, the newest trilogy. It's another Death Star, 1,000 Death Stars. I don't know. I want something new. I want something fresh. I think they have so much they can dive into in the MCU universe. It's huge that I would like to see more of that.
Okay, fair. You'll have a whole episode where I'll just go to court with you guys about this another day. We're going to talk more about WandaVision now. Let's talk about Visions, White Vision, Soulstone, WandaVision. What is going on with the Visions? Do you think that Soulstone Vision that Wanda manifested was all how much of the Vision that we got to know in the MCU previous movies wise, how much of that vision was this Soulstone Vision that Wanda brought into her world?
I think Wanda's vision was similar to he's not the real thing, but he's almost like a reflection, something you see in the mirror. He's everything that he was, but not physical, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because he forgot himself a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm. But I think Wanda's vision kind of restored the White Vision to regular Vision level, if that makes sense. I think now White Vision realizes he has all his memories and stuff, but he realizes that he is not the Vision that Wanda is in love with. And so I feel he kind of recognizes himself to be a different person altogether than Vision, who is dead. But I don't know.
He feels that he was broken apart, put back together. He knows he is less human than man. Yet he retains the memory, and I want to point something out that I noticed hasn't been pointed out. It's very subtle, right? White Vision said to Vision in the sky during their fight, my objective is to destroy the Vision. The Vision. And then when Colorful Vision touched his head and he had his realization, he said, I am Vision. Not the Vision, the impersonalized version. He said Vision. You know how Hayward refers to Vision as the Vision, like an object. He personalized it again. He was saying the Vision, then he referred to himself as Vision. So maybe he's becoming a little more human, actually. I don't know. It's a subtle thing, but it's also very big in the writing, if you think about it. If we're going to be left with these words for however many months, years before we see this character pop up in a action scene, Gandalf the White style again, to save the day, wherever he goes. Maybe he went to outer space. My friend Guy said, will he be the new Silver Surfer? Probably not, because... what?
He's not silver.
This character, White Vision, is in the comics. There's plenty of comic stories.
Yeah. I thought it was Gray Vision, but maybe I mixed the two up.
Well, they made him super sick in this show. He looks badass.
It made me think of like Westworld, honestly. Like
oh my
those white robots, scary things.
So cool. I can't even tell you.
Yeah, I mean, I will just say, I remember walking out of Ultron and thinking, like, I love Vision. Like, what a cool character. Paul Bettany just, like, knocks out of the park, and I'm glad he got, again, like, him and Wanda both got, like, some much needed, like, let's give these actors some time to bring out these characters.
Oh, my God.
I have no idea what they're doing with Vision. I thought it was kind of funny when he was just, like, it made me think of, like, every robot, maybe, like, Futurama, where it's, like, you gave them, like, some sort of like paradox that they can't handle, and then they explode, but instead of exploding, he's like flies away, and I'm like, oh, like there he goes. Like, I don't know what they're going to do. He's going away with
purpose. I know he's going somewhere.
But what is the purpose? I mean, I have no idea what the purpose is. I figured he would have found Wanda, right? Like, Vision gave him all the memories, so he knows now who he is and everything that's happened.
Theories,
but he knows he's not Vision.
But does that like?
No, he is. He said he is Vision.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's where it gets crazy.
If he was Vision, why would he not be at Wanda's side through all of this?
Because she's not Wanda anymore. She's a Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, well, that's another point too. I have no idea. They have something big planned for White Vision, and I have no idea what it is.
Oh, they have something huge planned for him? Yeah. I think he's going to Wakanda. That's where the home of Vibranium is. I saw that in some theory video. I'm going to credit every theory video, YouTube video person I've been watching, just to give them shout outs and to know my brain has been funneling information from these places, and I'm spattering and rehashing from those places and letting you know that I'm not some sort of like, I'm not, the original stuff is that one thing I said, and a lot of the other stuff I'm hearing from YouTube videos and shit.
You're a fraud.
I'm not a fraud. We all watch YouTube videos. I'll say them probably 5 times, but I'll even say them right now. Screen Crutch, Emergency Awesome, CBR, Canadian Lad, all their theory videos. Go check them out. Credit where credit's due. They got a lot of lore videos and the comic book lore videos too. Very good stuff. Yeah, White Vision, very cool. I can't even imagine. The MCU has got big plans, so that can come out in the next Avengers movie 2 years from now, or we could see it in the next Marvel series for all we know. But like you said, WandaVision was supposed to come out later, right? Falcon and Winter Soldier was supposed to come out first. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
So it's not like we'll see a follow-up to that in any of these coming up shows, unfortunately. So WandaVision, in my opinion, is Wanda conquering the stages of grief. I don't know if you guys would agree with that. That was just like a note I had.
Sure.
I think that's probably pretty obvious at this point. We had some other notes here. Let's see. TJ, let's go to your notes. I did.
All right. What do you guys think is going to happen to Westview now?
Oh, that's great thought. I'll go first. I think they're gonna have to have like a lot of therapy, and then they're gonna try and like do a class action lawsuit against Wanda, and then they're not gonna be able to find her, and then they'll get like some sort of like giant government stimulus package thing, and they'll probably take it, and then they'll move away to like a bigger city because like they're traumatized and their lives will never be the same because this place is terrible and their memories are like haunted and they were literally invaded in their brain. Nothing will ever be the same. They might even have to go to like places like psych wards and stuff. Night terrors. Who knows? I don't know what kind of shit. Like after someone's been in your brain for upwards of a month, what does that do?
Wouldn't it be cool if like you know how Rambo got superpowers? What if like the whole town got like mild superpowers?
Oh
something
my
just like
god!
Kind of kooky. I don't know.
That's way better than what I said.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but my original thought about everyone in Westview was that Wanda was going to kind of turn them all into mutants in some way.
Yeah, honestly,
and
I remember you saying that.
I was like, oh, because, you know, they mentioned earlier on that Rambo, every time she goes in, her DNA is being like changed. And that's like an X-Men thing. You know, they have like mutant genes. But I think the show implied later on that Rambo always had those powers. She just didn't act like the going through the hex just like accelerated them coming out. That happened, right? Am I misremembering? Or I'm pretty sure they wrote that off as like, nope, it's not everybody. It's just her.
No, wait.
This hex is like accelerating her powers.
You're right. Where are you getting that though? Why am I feeling like you're right about that? That she had something going on before that even. I
don't remember them saying that she had powers of any kind. I know they said that because she like entered twice, which is more than like anyone else. Like she went through the force field twice, that she got powers. But I don't remember them saying anything specifically that she had powers before, and then it kind of amplified them.
You know what? There was only indicators that she was just jacked. Like when she in the hospital when she was walking, like she ran into a guy in like Florida, and who knows if she was having these smaller signs of being an individual of super strength or whatever, and that. Just enhanced
she did
her.
like kind of grow up around Captain Marvel, so maybe she kind of
and a military mom.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So radiation.
We don't know who the dad is. We never know who the dad is.
And Nick Fury. She grew up around Nick Fury as well.
Yeah, I mean, like I think Westview, it might not end up being as important going forward. Like, I don't know. I think everything you guys said about like the people are definitely gonna be messed up. It'll definitely be another example of like, look at these superheroes. Every time they're trying to save the day, they just cause so much more chaos than they prevent. And it'll be another like, wagging of the finger against superheroes not always being good. I think we'll see it again when they have to go visit Agatha for some reason or another, to get like some insight into like, what the hell are we going to do about the Scarlet Witch? We need Agatha's help. And it'll probably be like, I could see them going to the house that Agatha's in, and like one of her neighbors is someone from WandaVision, and they like give the superheroes a dirty look, like the superheroes are back. And every time they're here, they mess things up, and like it'll be like, hey.
Herb. I love Herb.
Or the mom from that '70s show.
Can we give this actress some credit and know her name already?
I always forget. She's great, though. She's always great.
Wonderful.
I love her. It's so great whenever I see her. I'm like, oh my God.
I know.
She's been like just consistently killing it.
Now looking back at her when she's like, stop.
Yeah, it's so messed up.
She's just asking Wanda to let her go. And she's like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. And literally the guy who had the heart attack, you never see him again. Who the fuck? I'm sorry, pardon my French. Who was he?
Deborah Jo Rupp.
That's her name?
That's her name.
Thank you, TJ.
Deborah Jo.
Who was the guy who Vision entered into to remove the food?
Mr. Hart.
Mr. Hart, yeah. I never seen him around town anymore. Maybe Wanda manifested him to be his boss.
What about Dottie, too? Remember how they said, like, everything in this town begins with Dottie or something? And we never see her again either.
No, we did see her. You missed it. You maybe misplaced her. She was in the last episode. She was the blonde lady who was begging Wanda to see her what about her 8-year-old daughter? Something about right?
That's right.
Mm-hmm. She was saying something about like she was the first person to tell Wanda like she was holding her hostage or something like that, right, Dustin?
Yeah, she was like begging for a play date so that
she was saying
child could leave her.
So you could be the bully. Yeah,
so dark.
It was very dark. It was a moment where you realize Wanda is really controlling them, but Agatha is sidelining and trying to manipulate Wanda into furthering it and to see and play Wanda and, third angle this thing to see how she's doing it. Because Agatha can't do this. She's captivated by it. So she's just kind of playing her part to capture her magic. It's a very simple thing Agatha's been doing. It really wasn't Agatha all along. It was Agatha with Wanda on the side all along. I'm really trying to keep this podcast profanity free, but we are just buddies. And I say that it's been Agatha messing with Wanda all along on the side. But Wanda really created this thing. It was Wanda, honestly, the Agatha all along. It's kind of a wrench to put the audience in a place to think that Agatha is the mastermind behind all of this world and, pulling the strings behind everything. Really, Agatha's trying to take advantage of Wanda. But Wanda really did most of the damage here. And Agatha just was drawn to it because of her sinister ways. Agatha's bad, but Wanda is chaotic. Chaos magic, as Agatha says. She wants it to make
coolest magic.
It is cool. Agatha would be worse with it, maybe. Agatha couldn't even handle it, though, right? Am I wrong? Was she just couldn't even basically hold it? Wanda sucked it right back out of her. That was pretty badass. I don't know. The symbolism there was pretty sick. And the moment of Wanda saying, "You can't tell me who I am." What did she say? Like, how she delivers it is really good.
Going back a little bit to I feel like Rambo and overall kind of got like sidelined near the last few episodes because it felt like she was a big part of it, and then it was like we haven't seen her in a few episodes, and now it's over.
They gave her powers. It was a big deal. As you guys said, reminded me like what do you guys? I think it was TJ when she entered out of the portal. When she re-enters, you saw all the different forms of her. Geraldine, her as a kid. Almost, I think you seen all her, just her, and then the way she sees the world is like a neon colors, right?
She can see electricity.
Yeah, and her eyes are changing different colors. I seen them blue, and then at the end when she was protecting the kids, they were gold, multiple colors. So Photon is her name in the comics, but never directly called that yet. It could take 5 years.
She was the original Captain Marvel in the comics too, right?
OG Captain Marvel? I don't know that for sure. I gotta.
I'm pretty sure that's what I saw.
Gotta verify that. Not positive, but that's very cool. I really would love to see more of her. I know we will. She's definitely getting hints towards going up to meet Nick Fury and or the Kree.
Yeah,
or both because they're together up in Sword headquarters. Or I don't know. I thought Sword. I don't know what Sword is. I thought is Sword up in space or are they on the ground, or Hayward is just a corrupted part of Sword. I thought Hayward was all of Sword. Hayward was just a jerk. Is Hayward gone for good? What's going to happen with Hayward? What do you guys think?
Yeah, Hayward kind of fell into that Marvel thing again for me a little bit, where it was just like an example of like
villain of the
government, military, like interference, always kind of messing things up. Like he was just like a face to put on some of the badness, which was fine. I think his role was pretty decent.
Like a General
I don't think we're going to see much more of him.
You don't think we'll see him again? Like we usually see people again.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up in some capacity, but I don't know to what extent.
I have a prediction. I would like to see him come back as kind of like a Red Skull character, he's human now, but maybe he'll take like a drastic step to like counter the superpower people and make himself a supervillain.
That's what I want.
Extension.
I like
that would be cool. I'd like to see him back with like just crazy powers.
I like that. He shot at kids. I mean, whether he thought they were real or not, they look pretty real, and he shot blatantly at them.
Unforgivable.
What the frick?
It's weird. Before you said that, I was going to try to justify him for a second.
You were?
I feel like,
what were you going to say?
I was just trying to think about like his logic, like what he's trying to do isn't necessarily like the bad guy. It's just the way he goes about doing it that makes him seem like the bad guy. Because
I don't know, man. He lived through the events of Ultron, bro, and he activated Ultron.
Hold on. At the end of the day, he realized what was happening. He's like, Wanda is super dangerous and she's doing something very bad to this town. And he is right about that. He's right about that. And he had that's what I mean. It's not as black and white as it seems.
Well, it is actually, because he lied to his entire team and showed them footage of Wanda breaking into the facility and lied.
People working for.
He said she stole the body and she didn't. He lied to them.
Wanda right off the get-go for no reason. Just trying to kill her. Like it's so dumb. But
Wanda is still very evil in this. We can't ignore that. He was definitely like, I don't know.
Wanda is the problem. Wanda is the solution.
Was that said in the show ever?
Yeah, it was. I think so.
By who? Jimmy
Rambo.
Woo? Okay. Yeah. Jimmy Woo, shout out, man. Loved him.
Yeah, he's great. I'm glad he got more in this.
I'll take him basically any Marvel film. I need more of him. I hope he comes back and
we'll see him some more.
Yeah, I don't think he's going away.
Yeah. What about Darcy Lewis? Did you guys like Darcy?
Yeah, I liked her more in this than I have in any of the Thor movies.
That's good. Maybe because she's a friendly face from the past now. It's been like upwards of almost 10 years since the first Thor movie, and she's been in the MCU a while, and she's earned her place a little bit. It's good to see her back. And I kind of thought she got a little bit cut out of the last few too.
For sure.
Let's just run the bad guy over and that's it.
Yeah.
But
she definitely fell into that same like Rambo, like they had a big part, it seemed like, and then they were
it's over.
They're here.
Whoa. You guys think there's any chance that she will become a superpowered individual as well?
Well, there's a big chance that is she a sister to Natalie Portman's character in Thor? Jane.
I don't think so.
They're just friends or co-workers?
Okay. Yeah, I think just like co-workers.
I don't know how Jane is, spoiler alert. I mean, there was a big Comic-Con moment. She's somehow going to attain the powers of Thor.
Yeah.
This is news to me.
I mean, this is kind of a big spoiler.
Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder. This is the only time I'll say it. Erase it from your brains. I'm so sorry if you didn't want to know that.
That's an interesting bit.
It's so hard
widely
to talk
known,
about
though, isn't it?
Marvel stuff without talking about all Marvel things.
Isn't that widely known, though?
Yeah, I feel like they announced Thor 4 as like, hey, Thor 4, Love and Thunder will star Natalie Portman as Thor.
Yes.
It's like, oh, okay. Like, I guess that's it then.
That's huge. And
but I think that the implication there, and I don't want to turn this into a Thor podcast, but we might as well talk about it a little bit since you brought it up.
It's an MCU after show, not a MonDivision after show. We could talk about what's going forward here, guys.
I think Darcy will definitely show up in Thor 4. I would hope. And I think the implication with Natalie Portman becoming Thor is like, it's not so much, the Thor that we know isn't going to be like around anymore. I mean, I think at the end of Ragnarok, it's pretty much established that like he's not really Thor anymore. He's like, you know, he's the god of lightning. He's his own thing. Like he's not he's not connected to whatever his world's called. What's the realm?
Asgard.
Yeah, he's kind of like become his own thing. You know, he's part of the Guardians of the Galaxy as far as we know. And I feel like him searching for an identity post that will play into her becoming the new Thor, because he's kind of walked away from that mantle. I still think he's going to be lightning person, but she will actually be the like new Thor, you know, like the one who does Thor's duties, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense, but
it's so interesting.
Makes sense.
I kind of gets me a little weary in the tummy. I love Thor so much. Not that I don't like Natalie Portman or a female taking the role. I consider him that as being his name, not it being a role. He's a person. It's a guy. It's not like it's a title, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But that being said, MCU has done a wonderful job so far of me going in with low expectations. Even like I remember me having low expectations for Guardians of the Galaxy because I'm like, another franchise. I don't know, man. You know, I went to see that with you, Dustin, and then I walked out being like, "Oh boy, let's go, baby!" Like
it's one of the best ones.
Oh my,
I agree.
Maybe
my favorite Marvel movie.
I was in for the ride. They introduced Thanos. They had space adventure. We got to go to. I mean, I was blown away.
Dance off to save the universe. Come on.
Heck yeah, dude, what a movie. So like at that moment I'm like, this is like the 7th to 8th or however many times Marvel's knocked me on my back and taken me for a ride. So like I kind of trust them at this point. Just like WandaVision, I went in knowing I'm like, this show's gonna rock. Like the second episode was just like kind of like this is black and white classic sitcom with hints of being an epic show. But I was saying in the second episode of Marvel Maniac, I'm like, this is gonna be a really good show. I got a feeling about it, and it was, man. This show rocked. We gotta trust it, MCU. Let it be known. I trust Thor: Love and Thunder to be an epic movie.
Yes.
No worries there.
I have a theory about Love and Thunder. If this is a place to talk about it, I don't know.
I think it is. I think you're in the right place.
I don't know which is going to come first, Guardians 3 or Love and Thunder.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to tell at this point.
I would hope that it's Guardians 3 because, you know, last we saw Thor, he was on the ship going with them, you know, to figure out like the next thing. So my ideal scenario would be that we get Guardians 3, and a lot of Guardians 3 deals with Rocket and his backstory, which has been said that that's what they're going to focus on, but also fills in like what's going to happen with Star-Lord and Gamora. And I think Thor maybe seeing their love, which, you know, who knows if that'll happen, but I think that will inspire him to maybe return to Earth to find Natalie Portman's character.
It's a great point.
She's like an archaeologist or something, right? Like she's like studies like crazy shit.
And Christmas. I think it's going to have to do with the Christmas special. It's the next Guardians of the Galaxy property to be coming out. It's a Disney Plus thing. It's next year. It's going to be coming out before their next movie. I'm pretty sure it's going to be coming out before Love and Thunder.
If I had to speculate what Thor for Love and Thunder is going to be about, I think it's going to be about Thor figuring out what role he has to play and everything. I mean, he kind of walked away from Asgard, even that little sea town that they all set themselves up in. He gave what's her face like, hey, can you watch over them? I forget her name. Valkyrie. I think that I want to pretty much. I'm going to say I think Thor is going to become the next Odin of Asgard, and it's going to take Natalie. I think it's going to take Natalie Portman being like, you walked away from like your duties, you know, like as much as like you think that you don't have to do this, like this is your role, like you are their leader, and you can't just walk away and go on a galaxy journey with with your friends. Like you have responsibilities here. I'm Thor now, but you need to be Odin. You know, like you need to step up Love and Thunder, Love and Duty, they go hand in hand. I think that can be like, because they have to do something with Thor. His character has to lead something big, and I don't think he's just going to be wandering space forever. I think he's going to realize you can't walk away from, like Wanda, he's had so much bad stuff happen to him. And I think he's trying to walk away from it all. But at the end of the day, he's going to have to come back. And it's his destiny. Exactly. Odin's gone. Someone needs
to be a watcher of the realm. We did stray off a little from WandaVision. The thing that this show did, if anything now, just got me all excited for the possibilities of where the MCU is about to take us. And we did see Pietro Maximoff from another X-Men universe. It was teased. Okay, it was teased. We got a little boner joke. It was funny. I laughed. I rewound it and I checked and made sure that that's what I heard. It was a boner joke. Yeah, it was. We got a boner joke. It was fun.
Yeah, how do you feel about that misdirection?
I think I'm fine with it. I think it'd be too complicated to actually bring that universe of X-Men into this universe. I think it's a really fantastic homage. If they actually had him keep his powers and take over the monocle of Quicksilver, I don't know. I wouldn't even mind that, just having that homage. But in a sense, it's a little disappointing at the same time. I really liked what they had going for him as the fake Quicksilver. It stings a little, I imagine, for some people. I get that. But the multiverse stuff that we do have going on really does set up for that exact very thing, like the J. Jonah Jameson thing we were talking about. We really could have a very similar situation here, where the actors who played the character will come back. It'll just be a different version of that character living out a different life. It won't be the same life, the same story. It'll be a different, like this universe's version of that character portrayed by the same actor. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
However, Ralph Bohner is not, it's just not the case. Or it is. Agatha played some mind tricks, and I don't know. It's pretty straightforward to me that Ralph Bohner it was just a nod.
I want to say something unpopular, maybe. I think it was mean. I think it was mean-spirited that they did that.
I don't think
on your toes,
Yeah, but like,
you never know what's
the fact that it didn't amount to anything is kind of like, I think it's a little disappointing. I don't care that much because I'm not super in love with the X-Men movies to begin with, so I'm not like, oh no, but it just seems like, I don't know if that's them trying to tell us, hey, don't get attached to those actors, because if we're doing X-Men, we're doing it completely different. But it just seems like they did it as a way to get like a hype and publicity. Like, look at this. Like, it was all over Twitter.
You're right.
It was like, oh my God, look, the actor from the X-Men movies here. And then it meant nothing. And it was more, it didn't even mean nothing. It was kind of like, got you.
I don't think
we got
nothing.
you. And that was
I don't think it means nothing. I don't think it means nothing.
It's all for a boner joke.
No,
joke.
I think there's more to it. I don't know. There's something that tells me there's more to it. I really think that we're going into a movie called The Multiverse of Madness. People don't want to ruin it. It's a year down the line. There's more to it, and people can't say anything about it yet. And I don't know. It's a boner joke, but at the same time, I listened to...
Marvel's a real boner for doing it.
I listened to the audio description.
I know you.
When I watched.
Oh, you've explained.
You heard it in the podcast. You listen.
Yeah, but you've also just talked to us about how much, like, when I was over at your house during the holidays, you mentioned how like watching The Mandalorian in audio description is like elevated your experience, and I think that's fun.
It is. So when Pietro came on screen, it said Pietro Maximoff's Quicksilver from the X-Men movies.
Really? That's insane.
It is. You go back and watch it. It says from the X-Men movies.
Yeah.
Shows up at the door. They wouldn't.
So it was mean-spirited. You understand? If they end up doing something with it and it like works, I'll be okay with it. But now that looking back a little bit, I'm a little peeved at the way that played out, because I feel like it didn't have to be him if that's what they were going for, but they intentionally chose that actor to create this sort of like hype that ended up not meaning anything, and I think like it's fine that they did that, but I don't have to like it, and I don't.
No, I don't blame you. I actually was feeling that for a little bit, and I kind of let myself forget it, because the show as a whole was really good, and
yeah, it was.
I'm trying to not let that bother me. However, I 100% get what you're saying there. Yeah, that makes that is a little angry. Makes me a little angry. But however, let's see where it goes. Let's see where it goes with the Multiverse of Madness.
Remember when Rambo gets that lunar rover, and she says she gets it from like aerospace engineer friend of hers?
Right.
You guys have any ideas who that is, how that will come back into play?
I really thought it had to do with the Kree. Right, Dustin? Am I wrong?
I don't know if they ever answered that question, but when it first happened, I thought it was going to be Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four, because that's his thing. That's what he does.
Oh, dang. That's way cooler.
That was my guess as well. And they're making a Fantastic Four movie down the line. It hasn't been announced when it's going to come out yet, but I think it would be a great way for it all tied together.
Wow. Yeah. You think Monica Rambeau's got it in with Reed Richards?
Or like her friend or something, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Whoa. Dude, Marvel doing the Fantastic Four. Now that is the one we're going with, right? That's the one that's going to succeed, man.
For sure. Yeah.
I'm sorry. It
will be the fourth Fantastic Four
and the bar
movie.
Recasting Chris Evans.
And the bar is very low.
The bar is very low from the last one. Yeah. Doctor Doom probably won't be the first enemy. I'm assuming they have other comic book villains.
Oh, it better be Doctor Doom. I'd be so mad if it's not.
Give him a little time to develop the character. Isn't he a huge character? Can't wait to give him some time to develop in the MCU.
The guy, the director of Fargo and one of my favorite Marvel shows, Legion, he has a Doctor Doom script that he has been trying to make work, and there are talks that it might actually happen. So it's a Doctor Doom movie, and if anyone's going to make a Doctor Doom movie, Noah Hawley being the guy gets me pretty excited.
I don't know much about the comics. All I know is Doctor Doom. I know he's a huge character, and it sounds like he deserves a bigger overarching story than just being the villain of one movie in this bigger universe.
He should be there for like the origins of the Fantastic Four.
I want to point out one little tidbit of reading I found. I thought it was kind of cool. In the comics, Photon helps Doctor Strange defeat Dracula.
Oh,
I think would be pretty cool.
Hell yeah!
Photon versus
Dracula showing up.
Photon and Strange versus Dracula. I want to see Dracula as a villain. Cool. Where's Dracula coming from? Where's he been hiding this whole time?
He's always been.
He's just been here this whole time.
Yeah.
Well,
he's a warlock.
There's a Spider-Man has a Dracula bad guy. I forget his name.
I don't know.
But he's a vampire. He looks like Dracula, and they are making him a movie. And I think it is Jared Leto playing him.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not Photon in Doctor Strange. It's actually Scarlet Witch in Doctor Strange. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Dang.
So it could be leading up to that. Eventually.
Oh, dang. Okay. Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange are going to sort things out then. That's good to know.
Morbius. That's his name.
Morbius.
And it is...
Familiar.
It is Jared Leto.
Dang. Okay, cool. I love it.
And since they're making a Blade movie that's also tying into the Marvel Universe, I assume that will all be connected. Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, the best thing about WandaVision, in my opinion, is that Marvel like they already won whatever you want to say. They won everything, right? They succeeded in everything they wanted to do.
I agree.
Now post Endgame, I am so happy that they are trying to experiment and just do cool, interesting things. And for the first Marvel TV show that takes place like within the cinematic universe, I think WandaVision knocked it out of the park.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait to see where this is going, because I will say I didn't really care as much when Endgame was over. I was like, wow, that was fun.
I think it was over.
I'm gonna backpedal a little bit on everything, and now
final beat, right?
Yeah, exactly. But now with like
It's
everything
been a
they're
year.
showing, I'm like, ooh.
Now
I'm
everything's
excited.
settled. You're like ramifications of all this time travel, multiverse. What's happened? Okay, let's see what's going on now. Let's open a new book now. Is that your final word on WandaVision, Dustin?
Yeah.
All right, TJ, final word, WandaVision thoughts, MCU going forward. And then I want final thoughts on Winter Soldier and Falcon. I said it in the wrong order from Dustin and TJ before we go. But first,
sure.
TJ, WandaVision, final words.
Loved WandaVision. Honestly, my expectations were not that high. I was curious, but my expectations were low, but they surpassed them largely. I think it's so cool that we got a story from like an unreliable narrator. I think those are like the best kind of television. In fact, same thing to Legion. It's like, it makes it that much more interesting. And I know, Eric, you talked about this before, but they're expanding, and I feel like they're doing it perfectly right. Like, they're getting great casts, great story, great writing. It's funny, it's sad, it's got everything. And I'm looking forward to see what they're bringing out next.
Same here. Oh my God, you guys have been wonderful guests. You're my best friends, and I couldn't ask for better people. Funny faces are being shown, and you can't see them because this is an audio podcast, and you're hearing my voice differently than you ever have because I'm talking in the daytime instead of nighttime. Okay, TJ and Dustin, next week we got a brand new show starting already. Can you believe it? Falcon and Winter Soldier starts. It's got the TV-14 rating officially. So we are going with Zemo is bringing out the pain, apparently. TJ, right back at you. Predictions. What do you think is happening? Who's going to don the shield? Do you think Bucky's going to take it?
That's such a good question. I don't know. I feel like that's what the show will be about. It's going to be like the dichotomy of them sort of realizing that the two of them together like are needed to be what the title used to be.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
Bucky is from like the OG Cap era too. He fought in World War II. I mean, good God. Okay, Dusty, Cap and Winter Soldier. That's the name of the movie. What are your thoughts about the upcoming next week new Marvel show? We're already going into another. They don't even want to stop. This train keeps going, dude.
I am less excited for this than I was for WandaVision because
I should have asked
everything I've seen from like the trailers, everything I've seen from like the trailers and everything, it seems like it's going to be a little bit more what you expect from Marvel, like action, like not in a bad way. Just
hope they blow
it doesn't
you
look
away.
like they're going to do anything too experimental here. But I will say I like Bucky a lot. I like that actor. I don't feel that strongly about Anthony Mackie, is playing Falcon, but I am excited for him to be given like Wanda, like some
the
kind
opportunity
of like, hey, let's give this guy a story. Let's build him up so that we can really do something with him. I do think the show is mostly going to revolve around Falcon carrying the mantle and realizing how hard that is and like how high expectations are for him to be the next Captain America.
And
I think it'll be like him. Yeah. I think he's going to kind of come to realize that like he doesn't have to be Cap. He has to be like him. He has to be Falcon, like with the shield, and like
it's more of a symbol. Steve Rogers.
I don't think we will.
Me neither.
But I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Just
Me too.
because I want to see more of these two characters together. They have a good rapport in the movies.
They do.
They do.
Good chemistry. They're funny.
Like when they fall off after fighting Spider-Man.
Like,
I hate you. I hate you.
Oh my God, dude! What a great time I've had talking to you guys.
This was a lot of fun. I'd be so happy to do this again for post Falcon Winter Soldier.
It's a really good group.
You guys know that talking about TV is like what I live for. So
hey, Dustin, it's a good warm up for Better Call Saul.
Yeah, they just started filming yesterday.
Oh, they did?
Yeah,
so
Peter Gold tweeted the director thing, season 6, episode 1, and there's a picture of Saul as what's his face, Gene. There's a picture of Gene on the cut.
Gene cold open, number 6.
Yeah. Well, no, this was a pleasure. I'm glad we could talk about this.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having us on, buddy. I'm totally down to come on whenever.
I'm so excited. All right. See you later, guys.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Told you they were awesome. I really like my friends, and they will be coming back after Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I can't wait for that next week. I just got through watching Assembled, the making of WandaVision. What a treat. We get to look into the whole making of the show. I want you to go watch it if you feel intrigued enough to do so. If you like looking behind the scenes, you really do get an inside look. Not too much revealing in terms of the future of the MCU and stuff like that. Just a lot of behind the scenes stuff, a lot of laughs, a lot of film stuff. You get to see a Blue Vision when he's technically blue when he was filming some of the old-timey stuff. There's a lot of really cool stuff. You need to check that out. Behind the scenes stuff is a much watch. Paul Bettany recording early Jarvis. Thank God for Jon Favreau. There's so many things. Go check it out. This is Marvel Maniac, an MCU after show. We start covering Falcon and Winter Soldier next week. I want to thank everybody for being here for the coverage of WandaVision. If you don't plan on watching Falcon and Winter Soldier for whatever reason, thank you for joining me for this ride. We will be also covering Loki when it starts premiering. If you want to wait, come back. Stay subscribed. We'll be covering that when it premieres on June 11th, 2021. Please rate and review the show wherever you're listening. It goes a long way. Yes, I'm talking to you. I mean you. I appreciate it. We are at marvelmaniacpod@gmail.com. Send us your theories, your thoughts, your questions. What do you think about WandaVision? What do you think about Falcon and Winter Soldier? What are your predictions? The episodes next week, unbelievable. What are your predictions for Loki? At Marvel Maniac Pod on Twitter, at Eric Sequeira on Twitter, EricSequeira. We do accept donations. It goes right back into the show, keeping the lights on, all that good stuff. It's at Mr. Honest Podcast on PayPal. You guys have a great one, and until next week, Avengers disassemble.